Hello, everybody. It's the movie guru, and today I have a very special guest with me on my show. Please help me welcome Bobo Lay.
Hey everybody! Thanks so much for having me.
No problem. It's great to talk to you. And we have a lot to talk about. Apparently, you've been
We
busy,
do. Yeah.
which is great in the actor world, right? And it says that you have a new movie coming out on April 18th called The Wedding Banquet, which is not
I
it's not a
do.
remake, right? But a reimagining of the 1993 romantic comedy by Ang Lee. So tell me a little bit about that.
It is a beautiful, heartwarming story that touches on themes of chosen family, and we get to see a lot of amazing, really absurd situations happening, but a lot of love that shines through all these characters, and it's a very lived in story that I think will resonate with a lot of people.
Well, that's really great to hear. Some of my favorite movies were more the heartfelt. Now, don't get me wrong, I like the action, right? But believe it or not, things like Sleepless in Seattle and You've Got Mail, those were like some of my favorite type of movies, right? Because this is a romantic comedy. Now, have you done more to romantic comedy, or was this your first crack at it?
This is my first one that I've ever done, and I want to do so many more.
Okay, well that's great to hear. So before we talk about some other things, let's talk about you a little bit. Let's get to know you. So,
Yeah.
in your words, who are you?
My name is Bobo. I am an actor from Vancouver, BC, Canada. I was born and raised here. I love dancing and martial arts, and I love watching movies, shows. I play a lot of video games during my spare time. And
Oh, that's very cool. I like to do all that stuff as well, right? And
amazing.
it's amazing. And listen, it's great to talk to somebody who also has a love for the martial arts, right? So let's get into some of those acting things before we get into martial arts because really that's gonna be a long conversation. But I understand that you were also on the Flash.
Oh yeah. The Flash is very very special to me. I'm a huge fan of comics, and being able to work on the Flash,
Mhm,
even though my time on it was pretty brief, it
mhm.
was incredible. And it was my first time, visiting the amazing Vancouver film studios and getting to see how things are done.
Listen, I almost drove to Vancouver to try to get a glimpse of the Flash set, okay? I have never missed an episode of Flash. You talking to that type of guy, all right? When
Wow.
the when the Flash hit, right? I swear it was the only thing I was watching. Flash, the premieres, the reruns. I'm into the Arrowverse. Look, all that. So, man, hearing that you were on there and it says you were on the Flash season 8, episode 17 if
That's right.
anybody's interested, right? And so, but yeah, congratulations because The Flash was a great show and it will definitely go down as to, in my opinion, the best season 1 and season 2 of TV of all time.
Wow, that's yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It was so cool getting to work on it, and it's been around for a long
Mhm.
time, and a lot of
Yes.
Vancouverites got to work on
Hmm.
it and meet some really amazing people. So yeah, the Flash is iconic.
So that's great. I mean, I'm a big fan of you already, right? I'm like, man, I'm gonna go see you in this new film, which I suggest everybody to do, and go back and rewatch her episode on the Flash. And you were also on Legends of Tomorrow. Now, I like
Right.
Legends of Tomorrow, right? Don't get me wrong. I liked it.
Yeah, that working on Legends, that was the first ever acting role that I booked, so that one is really
Hmm.
really dear to me. I played a K-pop star on the show, and
Hmm.
because it was my first role ever, everything was just like magic to me. I was just
Nice.
so excited to be there.
So, you said you were K-pop, right? So, did your dancing background come into that play in that role?
Yeah, it was awesome. My audition for that, I found it came so naturally. They gave us a
Oh.
song, and I just
Hmm.
rocked out to it. And
Hmm.
with my dance background, I do a lot of freestyle, with street dance battles and
Got it.
whatnot. So it came very naturally to me, and I loved every bit of it.
Wait, I think I heard you say battle. What? You said
Yeah.
battle? What? You said
What?
battle?
Oh.
You said battle? No, I mean, hey, no, that's great, man. I mean, just of somebody who has a love for the culture, hip hop, as well. I'm one of those people who I say I like Wu Tang and Seinfeld, right? It's like those two opposite spectrums, right? But there's so much in between, and a lot of it is the culture, which is dancing, right? So that's amazing to hear.
I love popping so much.
Hmm.
Popping was the first style that I picked up when I was very very young, and
Hmm.
I remember seeing uh, one of my favorite dancers ever on So You Think You Can Dance, Philip Chabib, and he was the
Hmm.
first popper that I saw, and he did this
Nice.
crazy like arm thing, and I was just blown away when I was like 9 years old, and that was the style that I ended up picking up, and I
Dope.
watched YouTube tutorials and things like that. And then I got to meet the local dance community, and that's how I got into to
Mhm.
battling.
Mhm. So let me ask you this: Are you a triple threat?
I wish. I wish. I think
I mean, you pretty close.
one day, I think the singing could use some work.
Okay,
But
okay. So double threat.
we're getting there. We're getting
Yeah, yeah.
there.
You're a dangerous. So that's in the form of dancing and acting. You're a dangerous duo right there, right? You got deadly weapons. So on the topic of music, favorite song, favorite rap song. What's the stick with hip hop? Favorite rap song, or what's
Oh
a
my
song
gosh.
that you break to that you like to pop to?
I have a playlist on Spotify, and what I like to do is I just look up popping battle music,
Okay.
and a lot of them are just kind of instrumentals, with a lot of
Mm,
bass and snares. In terms of like what I like to listen to, I love 2000s hip hop and R&B. I love Missy Elliott and Usher and
okay.
that kind of generation of music.
So if you say
Yeah.
Missy, so if I was to say this to you, if I was to say it's your predicted bird, what would you say?
Come right back to you.
No, I love to hear it. I mean, that's also my era as well, so I always love to hear that. So let's get into the one of the big topics for me anyway, which is the martial arts, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it says your bio says Kung Fu, Taekwondo, and Hapkido. Right? How did this help you is getting some of your roles?
I have yet to work on a film where I got to actually use my martial arts. This is definitely on my dream bucket list of being able to incorporate some of my movement abilities. But yeah, martial arts has really been with me ever since I was a young kid. I was in the dojo pretty much every day.
Wow.
And I think that martial arts really, came crosses over with dance for me. And,
Mhm.
it's a physical expression, um, and the ability to just feel present and comfortable in my body, I think has carried through into my acting journey as well.
I was gonna say it's probably the discipline part, right? When it comes to martial arts, right? You have to have a calm focus, right? And I can see that really coming through, on an acting set. It's like chaos, bright lights, and you're just like, right? you
Yeah,
know.
I just really gotta. I find myself like the discipline is exactly it. Is that just being present and
Mm-hmm.
grounded when there's so many things going on. I definitely draw from that for sure.
Hmm. And so I'm a big fan of putting things in a universe, right? And so if you could remake any, martial arts film or even star in a martial arts film, like what type of role would you look for or what film would you remake?
I think I would love to be a part of a new project. I see myself, being in the Marvel realm, and
Okay.
something like
Marvel, listen.
Marvel. Yeah, if you're looking for an alternate universe Spider Girl or something like that, I think it'd
Oh.
be cool. I want to do something that kind of blends martial arts and comedy.
Hmm.
Some of my favorites that I watched growing up, I love Kung Fu Hustle, and there
Oh,
was
me
this
too.
also
Yeah.
this this Disney TV movie that starred Brenda Song, and it's called Wendy Wu Homecoming Warrior.
Oh
And I
yeah. I've seen
watched
the
that
trailer.
movie. Have
Mhm.
you? Yeah,
Yeah.
I watched that over and over and over again, and I
Hmm.
thought it was the best movie
Yo,
ever.
they from what I saw on the trailer, listen, that they had some moves, some serious kicks. So let's get back to the wedding banquet. When does it come out?
It's coming out April 18 in North America, and then our international release date is May 9.
This film was directed by Andrew An. Am I saying that correct?
Yeah.
Joyful comedy, right? About a chosen family navigating cultural identity, queerness, and family expectations. I have a little bit of the trailer. Can I bring some of it up?
Yeah, of course.
Baby's gonna change everything. I'll teach the baby art, and Chris will change the diapers. Ooh, you're giving me poop?
He would be such a good mom.
So would you.
Doesn't matter if it's Lee or me, because we don't have the money.
His visa runs out in a few months and he doesn't want to go back to Korea.
My grandmother doesn't know I'm gay.
You come out, they cut you off.
I have a proposal. You marry me, and
All right, you guys gotta go check out the rest of it. But that was just a small clip of it, correct? So without spoiling anything, tell me about how the movie was for you being in it.
You know, for me, it's such a special movie because being a part of a project like this is truly like a dream come true for me. Given the the ensemble and the script, it's just so beautiful, and it makes me feel so warm and tingly inside. It's such a heartwarming story, and just to be a part of it's the greatest honor, and I'm so grateful for just being a part of this and getting to meet the people that I did, and it was such a beautiful, beautiful experience.
I heard something happen during the filming.
Oh yeah,
I,
what did you hear?
I heard that for one, this could be possibly your breakout role.
I hope so. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm working with the monarchs of the industry and people that are my idols, so I really hope so.
And they're saying because you went in for one role and they bumped you up to another role. So tell me about how was that?
It was mind blowing. It's the same character, but basically, Kendall, my character, started off as Bowen Yang's friend,
Hmm.
and I did the audition, and I think Andrew saw something more that he wanted to dive into, and I think it's this kind of like chaotic sibling energy that I brought to the character that inspired Andrew to make Kendall Bowen's cousin in the movie.
Oh,
And
okay.
so he decided to expand the character and dive more into that deeper relationship between the two, and I think it brought out so many feelings and vulnerability with both of our characters, and it turned out for the better.
Man, that's so great to hear, because, it's already a lot of emotions going into these auditions and castings, right? And then when you knock it out the park and they're giving you that feedback, like, hey, not only do we want you for this, but we want you for this.
It was so amazing, and I still can't believe it till this day that this happened for me. And yeah, I keep saying that I feel like the stars really did align.
Well, that's really great to hear.
It'll be in theaters April
Okay.
18, so I
That
think that's
means
where we'll start.
everybody gotta go see it, right? It's in the theaters. Get your
Yes.
popcorn, get your extra big bucket of popcorn, get your soda, and check out the wedding banquet on April 18th. Man, that's great to
Yes.
hear. So, in closing, any last words or words of inspiration that you would like to tell the people out there about the film and about just inspiration in life?
Absolutely. I hope when you go watch our movie, it brings you a lot of joy and comfort, and these little butterflies in your stomach, because I think it's such a beautiful, sweet, genuine story, and I hope that no matter who you are, where you're from, there'll be a piece that resonates with you, and I hope that it just makes you feel really, really good inside.
Well, thank you, Bobo. This has been great talking to you. You are definitely a guru yourself, triple threat, if I may say. Right? Movies, kung fu, hip hop. Love to hear it. So happy to hear about your success story and let you know that the gurus out there will be watching. So let them know where they can follow you at. You do social media. What's social media?
Yes, please follow me on Instagram at Bobo J Lay.
And so, yes, everybody go follow her. And April 18th, we'll be checking out the film. So it's great talking to you. And we'll see
Thank
you on the big
you.
screen.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. This was super fun.
No problem. All right, Bobo. Take care.
All right. Take care.